Okay, so we are now in section number 2 at the Trading with Market and Volume Profile course. So in this section, we're going to be talking about what is market profile and its history. So market profile is a charting technique that was developed by J. Peter Stottlemyre, a trader at the Chicago Board of Trade, or CBOT, which is part of the CME, in the 1980s. Stottlemyre, along with his colleagues at the CBOT, sought to develop a better understanding of the dynamics of the markets and its price movements. The result was the creation of market profile as a tool to analyze market activity and provide insights. The method initially gained popularity in the futures market, particularly at the Chicago Mercantile Exchange and the CBOT. Market profile focuses on the distribution of prices over time, highlighting the areas of value and areas of low activity. Okay, the basic building block of market profile, it's the TPO chart, which stands for time and price opportunity, which represents a price level at which market traded for a specific amount of time. Okay, so market profile is basically a way to organize data in the market based on the time that price has spent at different levels. So if we have right here on the screen, this is a TPO chart. There's two basic ways to display TPO charts. We have the block display as you have here on the screen, and we have the letter display as well. They both represent the same thing, just with the letter. What you'll find is usually with the letter, they'll go in order by the alphabet, and that's why a lot of times, as we're going to talk about later, in market profile, for example, you're going to hear about the A period, B period, C period, etc. Every period in market profile is measured in 30-minute segments. Okay, so again, you can see it right here, for example. Now, the segments, according to how price moves through time throughout the session, is going to be making these sections bigger or smaller. And we're going to see a video later on where you're going to see exactly how the profile starts taking shape. But as you can see from here, we're going to have areas where price has spent more significant time in, and then we're going to have little sections like this ones where you can see that price spent very little time around these areas and just pretty much traded through fairly quickly through this. And then you have other areas, for example, this is a very balanced day where you can see we had more of the traded volumes right around the middle. So then immediately we see a profile like this, and we know that this was a very ranging balanced day, for example. Then when you have days where you have more of a thin profile, you can tell that these were days that we have a more of a trending environment. And what market profile is going to be showing us then is going to be the interaction in the auction market theory between buyers and sellers, and what's called fair price, where the market is finding acceptance in prices. For example, here in the areas that are the most prominent, this is obviously where buyers and sellers were more in agreement of prices. Then on lower prices here, this is where price was considered to be at a discount, and then near the highs is where price is considered to be at a premium or at a high value. Okay, then This is also how a lot of times you're going to see price TPO charts, where we have the TPO and then we're going to have a volume profile attached to it. And you're going to see they're very similar in a lot of ways. Like here you have your high volume nodes, and similarly in the market profile, you're going to have your areas of high interest. Here you have your low volume node areas, and here you're going to have again your low interest areas here. This is a special thing called singles, which we're going to talk about later, where we have just a single row of letters or blocks, for example. And then you can see both of these share points of control as well, which are not always going to match, because if you can recall, we're going to go over this in more detail. Volume profile is measuring the interaction of price and volumes. Market profile is measuring time and price activity. Okay, so that is the big difference: volumes versus times. Okay, and so as far as the biggest proponents of market profile have been Peter Stoudemire, as we talked about from the CBOT, and then also Jim Dalton is a very, very big and considered one of the godfathers of market profile. And these three books that we have right here on the screen are the most famous books related to market profiles. So if you want to, continue expanding your knowledge on it, you can definitely check out these books. They're, pretty dense, and at times can be a little bit tedious in all the theory and the concepts in it. But basically, this course is going to be a distillation of the best concepts from these three books, plus other things that I've learned through my own trading and experience and strategies, etc. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the section 2. Again, just a quick introduction to what market profile is and its history. And in the future sections now, we're going to be talking about the advantages of market profile and all the elements of it. Okay, so I will see you all in the next section.